I went from not being able to hold a handstand at all to getting deep handstand push-ups, even though I had no natural talent and shitty muscle building genetics. And today, I'm sharing all the no BS info that got me to this point so you can apply it to your own training and also unlock this skill. To unlock deep handstand push-ups, I had to make sure I focus on these two things. One, having a good balance, and two, having good overhead pressing strength. These are the two areas that I realized I had to get good at to unlock the deep handstand push-up. So that's the first thing that I did. Number one, I got a solid handstand. The handstand is the base for all your handstand push-up work. You need to understand that the quality of your handstand push-up will be at least in direct proportion to the quality of your handstand. What this means is you will never have a handstand push-up that's better than your handstand. You can have a better handstand than your handstand push-up, but you can never have a handstand push-up level that's better than your own handstand level, because this is the base for the skill. So the better your handstand is, the better your handstand push-up will be able to be. And the main mistake that I see people make every time in the handstand is that they're training without structure. They spend months or even years just training and trying to do attempts on the floor without ever making any progress. And you're not making any progress because you're just trying a skill, which doesn't work by just trying, because the handstand is actually two skills. It's being able to hold a handstand and it's kicking up into a handstand. And all that people are doing is kicking up into a handstand without being able to hold a handstand first. And in order to be able to hold the handstand with proper alignment, you need to first train against the wall, because that's where you're going to get a good line, which is simply not possible to get when you're worrying about the balance. Because the handstand is a skill that requires consistency with good technique, not just consistency. If you're consistent with bad technique, you're just regressing. So it's perfect practice on the wall with consistency and also plenty of frequency. This is a skill that benefits a lot from frequency. If you can, you should train it every single day. The more you train it, the better, because it's not very taxing on your nervous system, but it requires a lot of attempts, a lot of repetitions to get right. It's thousands and thousands of attempts until you actually master the movement. And I also had to make sure that I was good both at the floor and the parallettes, because of course deep handstand push-ups are much more practical to do on parallettes. The handstand is a very complex movement, and I've done a lot of other videos on it on my channel, which you can go check it out. And also, if you want me to personally fix your handstand, get you a solid line and unlock your first handstand push-up, you can DM me on Instagram. My @ is in the description. The second thing I had to do to unlock deep handstand push-ups was to develop good overhead pressing strength. The deep handstand push-up requires you to push your entire body weight with the full range of motion. So I knew I had to get strong. Whereas everyone else on the internet is doing pike push-ups to unlock the handstand push-up, I did something different, which in my opinion is more efficient, which is I got strong at the military press. Now, I'm not saying pike push-ups are bad. I actually think they're a great accessory exercise. But when you lack strength to do handstand push-ups, and your main purpose is to build enough strength so that you're able to push your entire body weight above your head, it makes more sense to do the military press simply because you have a more stable progression. Because you don't have to change body positions to progress, and you can just add small amounts of weights and the range of motion stays the same, which is very valuable when you're trying to get strong over time. So I train that overhead press 1 to 2 times a week, doing 3 to 5 reps and 3 to 5 sets, always high intensity, low volume, trying to increase my numbers on the lift. Once I could press about 75% of my body weight for a few reps, I knew I was strong enough to do floor handstand push-ups. And that's the third step that I did. Once I had enough solids, balance, and strength, I just did handstand attempts. And throughout the whole year, that's all I did to get better at the movement. I trained floor handstand push-ups 2 to 3 times a week for a whole year straight until they become somewhat easy. I had to have a lot of patience and do them many times, have a lot of sessions where I get no reps, because that's what happens on this skill. And I did it until they actually became a bit not very difficult. And the fourth step was doing deep handstand push-up attempts. One day I decided, well, I've been doing handstand push-ups on the floor for a while. I must have developed quite a bit of strength, and during this time I was also increasing my military press. So I just did handstand push-up attempts, and that's how I unlocked them. So if you follow the exact same strategy as I did, you're going to unlock deep handstand push-ups. And actually, you might come to realize that they're easier than you think, because the added range of motion somehow makes this movement a lot smoother, which is very hard to explain if you haven't done them yet. But that's it. That's how I unlock deep handstand push-ups. And if you copy me, you can reach the same results. If you want me to personally fix your handstand, get your first handstand push-up, and on your way to your first deep handstand push-up, DM me on Instagram. It's the first ad you can find in the description.